Slayer.
Hello, this is Stampy Longnose, and welcome to a Halo Reach gameplay commentary. I'm playing a game of Slayer DMRs on the map Highland, and there's a few reasons why I decided to upload this gameplay. One is because who made this map? This is from the Defiant map pack, which means it was made by 343 Industries, who I'm sure you know are the people that are currently making Halo 4. I also decided this gameplay because it was quite a long gameplay. It's over 10 minutes long, which means I got plenty of time to talk about everything that I want to talk about. And the third reason why I uploaded this gameplay won't become apparent until the very last second of this game. So make sure you hang around to watch the end of this game. Or if you do get bored at any point, just skip to the head and at least watch the ending, because that's the main thing I want you to see. But the thing that I'm going to be talking about in this game... Actually, sorry, I want to quickly also mention that I do skip ahead at a few points during this game. Because this map is so bloody big and there's not enough players on it, there's a few moments that get quite boring, I'll be honest. So I do skip ahead a couple times. So if you see it kind of jump a bit, or you think, hey, wait a minute, the time just jumped up there, like he's cutting out all his deaths or something, it's not me just trying to cover up bad moments. Is the fact that there's a few boring moments which I try and skip out to try and make the game more exciting than it actually is. So sorry the gameplay isn't that amazing, but I'm not talking about the gameplay anyway. I am talking about Halo 4, and in particular a first look video which has just been released for Halo 4. I'm sure you've seen it, I'm sure you've probably seen it multiple times, and I'm sure you've also probably seen videos with people talking about it already, and people giving their analysis and trying to find secret hidden things in it and giving their opinions about it. In fact, there's been like so many videos talking about it, I kind of wasn't even sure whether I wanted to even make a video talking about it. Then I thought, wait a minute, I am a Halo commentator, there's no way I can ignore this video that has just revealed so much about Halo 4. I was like, I got to give my opinion on it, so here it is. And I'm going to start off talking about the campaign, even though I care more about the multiplayer. But the very first thing they mention in the video pretty much is that they're going to try and show Master Chief's humanity. And I think that might be quite good. I would prefer a more character-driven story compared to the past Halo games, especially Halo 1, 2 and 3. I found the story quite hard to follow. But the thing that I liked about the Master Chief is that he doesn't have much personality, which kind of makes it feel like it is more you playing it when you're playing. Like, if you look at someone like Gordon Freeman from Half-Life, he doesn't say a word throughout any of the Half-Life games, and you never even see him, you never even see like his reflection in a mirror, and that kind of makes it feel like you are him more. So I think that if they give Master Chief a lot more personality, it would kind of take away a bit from the fact that you are Master Chief, which could be problematic, but they say that they're also trying to make the story a lot more cinematic, and I think Halo Reach itself was pretty cinematic. I think if you go back and watch a lot of the cutscenes from Halo Reach, they're a lot more dramatic and artistic when compared to past Halo games like Halo 1, 2 and 3. So I hope they manage to keep that up. And they also talk a little bit more about the new enemy that's going to be in the game. They introduce a new threat which is going to be beyond what he has faced before. And they've mentioned already that there's going to be a new enemy type. You're not going to be fighting against the Covenant, although we don't know if the Flood are going to make a return. I'm assuming that they might do, hoping that they won't. But they also do mention that there's going to be a new gameplay style when facing this new threat. So maybe there's going to be something a little bit more interesting about them. Maybe it's going to be more than just shooting them in the face. So we don't know what a new enemy is going to mean to the game. I mean, if there's only a certain way you can kill this enemy, only a certain way you can kill this enemy, there might be a more interesting element added to gameplay. Graphically, I think it just looks like Halo Reach, to be honest, and that's not surprising since they're using the same game engine. But I actually read on Twitter that one of the people making the game were boasting about the graphics. It's going to be the best graphics on a console ever. It's better than Killzone and Crysis and Battlefield 3 and that. And I was thinking, yeah, right, this is using the Halo Reach engine. But to be honest, I'm glad it looks like Halo Reach, because I think Halo Reach looks good, it's clear, it's bright, the frame rate is pretty much consistent, and I think if they added in a load of video effects and fake lens flare to try and make it look better, it would kind of ruin Halo. And so I'm glad that it does look as bright and colourful as it does. I was especially getting worried when they're talking about making it a bit more gritty and realistic. I'm glad that it does still look like Halo, so I'm kind of happy that they haven't upgraded the graphics too much. And I mean, they're making it on like the Xbox 360. What did you really expect? Like, the hardware on the Xbox 360 is pushed like absolutely to its limit. So I think until we get to Halo 5 on like the Xbox 720 or whatever, this is basically what Halo is going to look like for now, and I'm happy about that. But anyway, I've talked about the campaign for way too long already. What I'm really interested in, and what I'm sure you're interested in, is the multiplayer. And the first thing they show about the multiplayer is the heads-up display, which might seem like a bit of a boring thing to show at first, but there's a few interesting things we can gather from it. The first thing you'll probably notice is that it looks like any other Halo heads-up display. It looks a lot like Halo 3, I think. Everything's in the place you'd expect it to be. If you're switching between Halo games, you're always going to look in the right place if you're trying to see how much ammo you got left or trying to check the scores, and I think that's a good thing. Something that you may notice is that there is no health bar, which is good because I didn't really like the health bar from Halo Reach. I think it wasn't necessary, and I think stripping it back to something like Halo 2 and Halo 3 is a good thing. Then again, everything in this video is subject to change when the actual game does come out, but for now it looks like there won't be any health, which I think is a good thing. Something slightly more interesting that you might not have noticed, if you look at the scores in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you'll see that there's a little picture of a unicorn and a little picture of a wolf on the scores, and that might seem quite insignificant, but what I think that is to do with is tying in with the fact that they're going to try and add fiction to the multiplayer. Basically, they're trying to give a reason for red Spartans to be shooting blue Spartans and a reason for blue Spartans to be shooting red Spartans. And I think that's going to tie in directly to their campaign. I think there's going to be a section in the campaign, maybe a few missions, where there's talking about like maybe a rogue group of humans, maybe some bad humans, and basically some Spartans are going to be fighting other Spartans. I'm assuming the wolves in the campaign were going to be the bad guys and the unicorns are going to be the good guys. I can't think of anything more stereotypically good other than a unicorn. And so that could be quite interesting. I think that's more interesting for the campaign in the fact that we might be able to fight against other Spartans. I think that would be very interesting. I think there might be a kind of flood-like enemy, kind of like maybe something that you've seen the necromorphs in Dead Space, as well as something like killing Spartans or other humans. I think they may be the two different types of enemies that you'll be fighting. I think in terms of the multiplayer, it'll be something a bit more like Team Fortress 2, where there is fiction behind the characters and there is fiction between why these factions are fighting, but it won't really come into play in multiplayer. I don't think there are going to be any like cutscenes before games or any one-liners spouted out by characters as you're playing, which I think is good. I mean, you don't really need motivation to shoot other players in the face online, but the fact that they have added it in is something interesting, and I look forward to see what they do with it. But something even more interesting, because it does affect gameplay, when also looking at the score in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, look how high the score is. They're playing Slayer BRs, but the scores are up in their 100s. It's like 200 like kills, it looks like. So what I think it's going to be is it's not going to be just about first one to 50 kills wins. I think you're going to get points for doing certain different things in the game, and then the first one to reach a score limit, they will be the person that wins. You see later on in the video when they're showing a little 4-second clip of gameplay, someone gets 2 medals, and next to the medals there's little 5s, and I think that means 5 points. So I think any positive action that you do in the game will give you points, which will add up to a final score. When you reach the score, you will then win the game. So getting things like medals, doing assists, maybe doing something positive for the objectives will all get you points rather than just getting kills. And that's an interesting way to do it. It's something different. I don't think it will make the game any better, but I also don't think it will make it any worse. It just means doing things like getting snipes or assassinations will get you more points than simply shooting someone to death with the BR. And of course, I haven't mentioned it yet, the BR is back. I think everyone assumed the BR was back. I think everyone was hoping the BR would be back. They've just confirmed that it is, so I think that's made a lot of Halo fans very happy. It's made me very happy. And I think, I don't know, I kind of guessed that it would be back. I think that unless 343 Industries made the entire game with their fingers in their ears and didn't listen to anyone from the community, I think the BR would have to have definitely been back. Something else which has returned is Sprint, something that I'm also not so happy about. They don't know if their other armor abilities are going to be in. I bloody hope the other armor abilities won't be in. I think every Halo fan doesn't want armor abilities to be in the game. But the fact that they've added Sprint is slightly worrying. They also talk about a new set of tools. So I'd rather something maybe like the equipments in Halo 3 where you have to pick them up to use them. I don't want any custom loadouts, although it does seem like that might be happening. They also mentioned that all the multiplayer levels are going to be built from scratch using like original artwork and not just taking battle like areas from the campaign, which is something that I'm pleased about. They show 2 maps specifically, a map called Warhouse and a map called Wraparound. Both look okay. You can't see like enough about either of them to get any real opinions about them. They look very similar to past Halo maps. I mean, Warhouse is a bit interesting because there's a mech being built in the middle, and Wraparound looks something like kind of similar to maybe something like Lockout. It's a bit more of a vertical, like arena-based map. Both look fine. They also talk about having new Spartans in the multiplayer. I hope they are still customizable like in Halo Reach, because that is quite interesting. So overall, Everything that I've seen in Halo 4 is kind of what I expected. Nothing shocks me, nothing amazed me, but everything looks good, and I'm still looking forward to getting my hands on Halo 4 and playing it for the first time. And I think 343 Industries have got a great opportunity here, because Halo Reach is kind of didn't have the same hype as past Halo games. There's a lot of people that don't like it because of Bloom and armor abilities. I think 343 Industries have got a great opportunity to kind of make it look like they're saving Halo, and I hope they don't blow that. Anyway, I'm getting to the very end of the game now, and this is the moment which I talked about earlier. 1 second left in the game, and I get a blinding no-scope. Let's see that again, please, because look at the time. 2, 1, bam, in your face. One more time in slow motion. Yes, please, this will be the final time I make you watch this, but I was just so happy about getting this nice no-scope at the end of the game. This is the end of this video as well. Cheers for watching, everybody, and I will see you all later.